Hello, my name is Brianna Walker. Thank you for watching my presentation, Decreasing Internal Competition in Female Volunteer Groups by Applying Interpersonal Responsibility and Organizational Communication. The purpose of this study is to analyze people who join groups for personal and professional reasons. These individuals usually have advanced degrees and high-power jobs, who have a desire to either progress as an individual or they solely want to be of service to the community. In groups, especially those composed of women, there are multiple personalities, common sense perspectives, and beliefs of good, and it is simply unavoidable to not engage in conversations of opposition. This study will research how competition weakens the bonds between one and two or more individuals, and how interpersonal communication, interpersonal responsibility, and organizational communication can help to transform these competitive relationships into relationships that are able to produce great things on a consistent basis. The fictional story that I used was a case study on the Tea Party Ladies of Distinction. These ladies are academically gifted. They have lots of professional experience, but they are unable to come to agreements on fundraisers. There are three groups that truly exist in the Tea Party Ladies of Distinction. There is Group A, that is very passionate about having successful fundraisers that are going to benefit the community. There is Group B, who possess a lot of personal vendettas against certain members in the organization, and they simply feel that they are superior to everyone else. If an idea is not theirs, it is not the idea that they want to utilize. Then you have Group C. This group will vote for the fundraiser. However, they don't necessarily want to support it. They vote for it because they don't want anyone looking at them in a negative way because they voted no. So they vote yes, but then when it comes down to promote the event and support it, purchase tickets, this group does not. This case leads to less than 50% of the membership supporting activities. Therefore, the fundraisers are unsuccessful, no money is raised, the community suffers. Competition and relationship transformation. We tear ourselves apart with the mistaken belief that we must decide between two opposing forces, independence and interdependence. We believe we have to either stand on our own two feet as individuals to make a mark and achieve recognition, or sacrifice our uniqueness and perspective in order to accommodate a larger whole, a company, a family, a community. What sticks out the most to me about this quote is, number one, mistaken belief, because it is false that doing what's best for the team is somehow diminishing the self. If you are a part of a group, that is the role, part of the role that you play as a group member. Going with the greater good of the organization, especially if that organization has influence on a multitude of people. Then the word accommodate. The word accommodate reminds me of hotel accommodations. Making someone feel welcome, making them feel comfortable. But in this case, the author is saying accommodate someone against your will. You are not being your true self by giving this person or this group a pass by going along with the majority. And again, when you're in a group, it's not about being accommodating, so much as it is about being supportive, as it is about being a good team member and understanding that everyone has their own point of view, and it's important that everyone has the opportunity to share their opinion and views, and the greater good is more important than anything. There must come a point where everyone can agree on how to work together to get things done. Organizational communication ethics. Learning from the ongoing relationship of saying and said begins with the connection between institutions and organizations, which begins the first step of keeping an organization grounded, decreasing to a small degree the likelihood of it losing its way through inattentiveness to the grounded practices that give it a particular identity. The Tea Party Ladies of Distinction must not lose sight of its grounded practices and risk losing its identity. In my case study, this organization had become so focused on internal competition that its founding principles were becoming lost. The foundation of the organization was dissolving. And if you don't know who you are as an organization, if you don't know how, as an individual, you fit into that foundation, there's no purpose. There's no guide. There's no drive. Competition can be consistent, but it is more than anything temporary, because internal competition cannot give a group progress. So in this instance, this was one of the biggest negative aspects of the internal competition, losing organizational identity. Relationship roles and responsibility. Establish your credibility by making and then fulfilling commitments and cultivating trusting relationships both within and beyond your organization. Relationships call for individuals to be responsible to their roles. Interpersonal responsibility begins with each person's commitment to active care for the interpersonal relationship. If the women in TPLD, the Tea Party Ladies of Distinction, cared more about their active responsibility in cultivating relationships, there would be less focus on competition. The purpose is to build relationships within the organization, relationships with community partners, relationships with members of the community, with businesses. That all goes back to the foundation and identity of who the organization is. So one of the solutions for this organization with utilizing interpersonal responsibility and organizational communication ethics is first to get back to those founding principles of the organization, so you can explain the why. Why do you do what you do? And then also understanding that if I'm going to be a member of this organization, my actions, especially my communication, serves a vital role in the prosperity of my organization. It is something to take seriously. And being a competitor, there's not a role within this organization for competition. So I'm in this organization and there's no purpose that I'm serving. Though that's something that these individuals must come to terms with. Implications. If the internal competition problem is not solved, TPLD will not raise any money and be unable to provide community programs and academic scholarships. The culture of the organization will be stressful and unpleasant. Individuals will not continue to sacrifice their time for an organization that is not going anywhere. A negative and hostile environment can cause problems in a member's life outside the TPLD organization. Unethical communication practices that make members feel as if they are being attacked can cause depression. Members who are depressed and discouraged cannot contribute to the organization or be of service to the community. People truly don't understand the results that their communication practices can have. How you communicate with a person can truly affect who they are as a person. And all members of all groups, whether that group be professional, within your 9-to-5 job, or it is a volunteer organization, people are sacrificing their time because there's something behind it, whether it is personal or it is because they have a deep desire to serve the community. Nonetheless, it's a sacrifice. And people must understand that they can truly have a negative impact on a person who is constantly attacked, a person who wants to do well in the community and wants to create solutions for people, but they're constantly having to fight these very immature and petty accusations that simply serve no purpose. And a lot of organizations will lose good people because they don't know how to recover from these types of competitive situations. You have to simply call it out and say that, hey, we see this as a problem, we see it exist, and now we need to figure out a way to dissolve this before there comes a tsunami of broken relationships, membership decline, and organizational failure. The relationship evaluation starts with the self. Before you can accuse another person of anything, it's really important to do a self-check and evaluate yourself. Give yourself some distance from the situation, not too much distance, especially physical distance, because sometimes that physical distance can really make the relationship become stale, and that bridge of communication, sometimes it simply cannot be repaired because the distance has remained so long. But it is important to utilize distance to give people time to step away and ask themselves those important questions like, what am I doing directly or indirectly to contribute to this communication problem? Because everyone plays a part in the puzzle, even those who have the right heart when it comes to teamwork and group practices and effective group communication. There's still something that those individuals could be doing more of to possibly bring that opposing group, that group B, bring them on board. An argument is an argument, even if with the side that is correct. It may be that the side that is in the right and has the most passion and has the right drive and the right heart, they simply cannot participate in these competitive discussions and say, hey, we're here to have a discussion, but we simply don't want it to be negative. We don't want any animosity. We're here to discuss solutions. And ask the question, are you ready to be a problem solver with us in the community, versus things becoming so personal and these conversations where nothing is getting accomplished. I hope that this presentation struck a nerve with more than one viewer, and especially as women, we can come together and learn how to stop the competing. We should be allies. We should help one another be better, be better women, be better citizens of this country. Women have a lot to offer, and the only way that they are going to achieve more and have greater successes is by working together. I thank you for watching my presentation. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions below. And again, thank you for watching.